Hey, my name is Carrie, and I'm going to be making some videos. Here it goes. Return of the Obra Dinn is a detective-themed indie game made by developer Lucas Pope. If Pirates of the Caribbean and The Lighthouse made sweet love and birthed a video game about a ship and all of its crew that go missing but mysteriously returns to port 4 years later with everyone dead and you're responsible for finding out what happened to them, you'd have Return of the Obra Dinn. The weird thing is that this game has been out for 3 years now, and I haven't had anybody slide up on me to tell me about it. Nobody's been kicking any doors down, or sending me any smoke signals, or leaning over the divider at the urinal going, yo, dude, have you heard of Return of the Obra Dinn? It's a super sick game, man. You know, if you had a Switch, you could be playing it down there right now. Today, I'm here to say that we need to be talking about this game more and support the indie developers who work really hard to make something this unique and fantastic. The game was developed by Lucas Pope, who first developed the indie hit Papers, Please. The game really stood out for effectively turning the job of an immigration officer into a compelling mechanic and narrative. In the wake of this indie game's success, it crowned the developer Pope Lucas, bishop of pretty good indie games. You're an insurance inspector working for the East India Company, and you're on the case to appraise a ship that has mysteriously returned to port after being missing for 4 years. The Obra Dinn. With a crew of 60 gone completely missing, you are tasked with deciphering what happened to everyone aboard and what happened to the ship. Don't worry, I won't spoil any of the story because the game is obviously about peeling the ogre's layers for yourself, but I will go over what the game's systems are and the sort of feel that you get from the experience. Once you get past some of the basic intro sequences and start to get a feel for what's at stake, it'll grab you by the nipples and it won't let you go until you solve this biz. If you ever want a game to put your junior gamer detective skills to the test, this is the game to do it. But before I get into what the game does right, let me get into how it works. Hold on. Hey. The feedback loop to this game is pretty simple and only has 3 major components: the stopwatch, the logbook, and the scenes. At the beginning of the game, you are given 2 objects by a man named Henry Evans, who asks you to chronicle the untimely fate of the Obra Dinn and all of its passengers. The first object is a big logbook with many pages in it where you can fill in the names and the deaths of every passenger aboard. And the second is a stopwatch called Memento Mortem. And the thing about this stopwatch is, it's got powers. Once initiated, you will find yourself in a fragment of space, and you will come upon a still image of the death. This allows you to observe who was present, the relationships between the people, motives, and sneaky-ass details hiding in the background. Now, I don't know where this mythical level artifact came from, but maybe we shouldn't be renting it out to some dude. I mean, it is what it is, though, and at the very least, he's using it to solve murders, for now. So, the next important item with you is the logbook, which is responsible for the mechanics of recording the fate of the Obra Dinn and each and every one of its passengers. You inch closer to the game by entering the correct information for each person. The logbook also provides some helpful illustrations of the crew before they set sail. They're even kind enough to add a dictionary of nautical terms and lingo for the non-seafaring, and this will all be crucial when trying to identify who is who. In the book, there is a page for each person and when they died chronologically along the voyage. And it's in this book that you start to see the genius of Pope Lucas. For each passenger, you have to correctly put in their name, how they died, and if they died by another entity, who or what did it. The good thing is that the book will let you know that you got something correct, but only in groups of 3. And this prevents you from just going down the list and trying to match every combination of details until you eventually find the right one through agonizing trial and error. This prevents those skeezy gamers from trying to game the game and bypassing all the fun. That's right, I called you skeezy. You know who you are. See, this is the kind of game you want to enjoy the way it was intended, and these mechanics let you stay on track so you can use your little gamer brain and figure out the mystery. I'm sorry, that was uncalled for. You're not skeezy. Now, the last ingredient in this feedback loop stew to brew are the scenes. This is where the mechanics of the stopwatch and the logbook come together. To inspect a scene, you first approach a corpse, and when you initiate the stopwatch, you do a little... I love it. It gets it revved up for something real spicy that's about to happen. The screen goes black, and then you will hear some dialogue or sounds for a few seconds that lead up to the moment of death. And then, boom, you stand before a still image of the person the moment they died. And then depending on the scene, you'll get some inquisitive, haunting, and even calamitous music just dangling in the air for like 30 seconds to let the feeling really just sink in. And the music has such a great feel to it and matches the themes and the energy of the scenes perfectly. Now, this would be a good time to talk about the aesthetics and visual style of the game. The graphical style was highly influenced and reminiscent of the 1-bit monochrome style, which was common for a lot of early Macintosh computer games. The art is black and white, which gives it such an eerie and mysterious quality to it. And the character designs, while detailed, have this grainy and blurry quality to it, as if you were looking through a dirty-ass security camera. While the style has so much character and features a nostalgic flair to it, I also think this was a strategic move on Pope's part. The lack of color allows you to focus on what's before you without getting lost in another element to the clues. The design of the ship and the characters all have such a vibrant Pirates of the Caribbean-y kind of design to it. Now again, I won't spoil any of the story, but I will say that you'll come across some entities that you can find in any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and let me tell you, when you do, it's pretty frightening. And that's all there is to it. Find a corpse, use the stopwatch to witness the death, log what you've determined, rinse, repeat, mince the meat. That's the whole bulk of the feedback loop. It's super simple, but super effective. Now, the last thing I'll say about the flow is that in the first section of the game, really, you're just being walked through all the deaths that occur like you're on a little storybook ride, like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And let me tell you, it's wild. You're daisy-chained from one death to the next until you've seen all the scenes. You can still log in information as you go, but a lot of it won't make sense until you've seen the whole picture and you can start filling in the puzzle pieces. Now, as during this part of the game, when I just experienced something just click, you start to realize that you just have to pay attention to everything. You gotta know who killed who with what. Who killed who where with what, and then when they did it. Who grabbed what with which hand, and then who killed who next to which man. Who spanked who in the ass and then ran down the hallway as they said what catchphrase. Yeah, okay, maybe the last one didn't happen, but I mean, you'd have to find out for yourself. Exactly. This, I think, is the true magic of the game. Making these huge connections with the clues that you dug out of these scenes are the true Chris Angel moments that just make you squeal like a little girl watching Mind Freak for the first time. Don't you remember that feeling? The game takes you seriously as a junior gamer detective and puts you to the test with these scenes that have these subtle clues just nestled in there. I love that this game doesn't hold your hand and tell you what to look for next. It just shows you all you need to know and then just... That being said, the game can be difficult, and I wouldn't recommend it to every junior gamer detective ranger, but let me tell you, when you get those 3 names locked in correctly, it is the best feeling. You log in that last detail, the screen goes black, and then you just see, well done. And it makes you feel like a damn hero. It never failed to be thrilling when you locked those suckers in, and you got one step closer to solving that mystery. The game isn't perfect, though. While the game, by nature of its genre, makes it hard to be replayable, you can still get a certain degree of replayability out of it. Similarly to playing Breath of the Wild for the second time, it's just not going to have that same magic feeling that you experienced the first playthrough. And for those who may be deductionally challenged, this game can be really difficult. You'll have to go here, look at this, and then who was that I saw over there? Yeah, wait, I have to go back there. No, flip the pages. No, I can't. Wait, hold on a second. I know I saw the thing, and then it can definitely feel a little overwhelming how much you have to stay focused. And I can see the dedication to solving this mystery becoming more and more difficult if you're not already hooked by the story or the style and just the whole vibe of it. But for those of you who like the aesthetics, who enjoy a good Sudoku puzzle, who are interested in investigating this world, I think you're going to be enthralled by this game. Return of the Obra Dinn is that game that I thank the indie gods for, or rather, Pope Lucas. It's tight, it's elegant, it's monochrome, it's sexy. I've heard too many of you all out there saying, "Oh, have you seen Sherlock? Benedict Cumberbatch is just the best, the best I have ever." Yeah, well, let me ask you something. Have you ever been Sherlock? Out of all the AAA studios out there, I haven't seen anyone put out a game that has this much personality, dedication to the theme, and twists and turns that makes you feel like Sherlock. Making real observations and figuring out what to do with them without anybody hanging over you telling you where to go next or what to do with him made every discovery feel deeply rewarding and exciting. We need more games like this, and we need more developers like Pope Lucas. If you haven't played this game before, please let this be the video to tell you to just go do it. I hope you have as much fun with it as I did. If you are somebody who actually has the gall to have made it this far, thank you for watching. I will probably make more of these, so if you've liked it, press the button and subscribe. Subscribe the button. See ya.